When little Emma took her first wobbly steps towards the family's newest Rottweiler puppy, no one could have predicted what would happen next. The mother Rottweiler's reaction left everyone in the room absolutely speechless, and what was captured on camera that day would remind us all why these misunderstood dogs are truly remarkable. But before we dive into this incredible story, if you love heartwarming pet stories that will restore your faith in animals, smash that like button and subscribe to our channel. You won't want to miss what happens next. The Harrison family had always been dog lovers. When they welcomed their first Rottweiler, Bella, into their home 5 years ago, friends and family had expressed concern. Rottweilers, they said, were dangerous dogs, too aggressive, not suitable for families. But David and Sarah Harrison knew better. They had done their research, understood the breed, and were committed to proper training and socialization.
Bella had proven every skeptic wrong. She was gentle, loyal, and incredibly intelligent. When Sarah became pregnant with Emma, a new wave of concerns arose. Would Bella be jealous? Would she be safe around a baby? Again, the Harrisons prepared carefully. They introduced Bella to baby sounds, baby items, and when Emma finally arrived, they made sure the introduction was calm and controlled. Bella had been perfect with Emma from day one. She would lie beside the crib, a silent guardian watching over the tiny human who had joined her pack. As Emma grew from a newborn into a curious toddler, Bella's patience seemed endless. Emma would grab Bella's ears, climb on her back, and use her as a pillow, and Bella would simply lie there, her gentle eyes following the child's every movement. 2 years into Emma's life, the Harrisons made a decision that would lead to that unforgettable day. Bella was getting older, and they thought it might be good for her to have a companion. After careful consideration, they decided to get a Rottweiler puppy. They found a reputable breeder, and soon 8-week-old Zeus joined the family. Zeus was everything a Rottweiler puppy should be: energetic, playful, and bold. His little growls were more adorable than intimidating, and his oversized paws promised that he would one day be as magnificent as Bella. The family was enchanted by him, and Bella, after an initial period of adjustment, seemed to accept her new role as teacher and mentor to the bouncing ball of energy that was Zeus. The first few weeks went smoothly. Zeus followed Bella everywhere, trying to copy her calm demeanor, but usually failing as his puppy excitement got the better of him. He would tumble over his own feet, chase his tail, and bark at his reflection in the glass door. Emma was delighted by the new addition, constantly wanting to play with baby Zeus, as she called him.
Before we continue our story, let's take just 5 seconds. If this story is touching your heart, please press the like button. Subscribe to the channel and stay with us because many more beautiful stories are coming. Thank you, my dear friend. Now, let us continue. Sarah was careful to supervise all interactions between Emma and Zeus. Puppies, even well-bred ones, could be unpredictable. They had sharp little teeth, boundless energy, and didn't yet understand their own strength or how to properly interact with small children. Bella had been trained for years, but Zeus was still learning the rules of the household. It was a sunny Tuesday morning when everything changed. Sarah was working from home, taking a video call in the home office, while David had taken a quick run to the grocery store. Emma was playing in the living room, which was visible from the office through a glass door. Bella was, as always, nearby, lying on her favorite spot on the rug. Zeus was in his crate, supposedly napping. The call was running long, and Sarah could see Emma playing contentedly with her blocks, building and knocking down towers with the concentration only a 2-year-old could have. Bella's watchful presence gave Sarah confidence that everything was fine. What she didn't notice was that Zeus had nudged open his crate door. They would later realize the latch hadn't clicked properly and had quietly entered the living room. Emma, hearing the click of puppy claws on the hardwood floor, turned around with delight. "Zeus!" she squealed, dropping her blocks and taking those unsteady toddler steps toward the puppy, her arms outstretched for a hug. Zeus, startled from his sleepy state and suddenly faced with a small human rushing toward him making loud noises, reacted on instinct. His ears went back, his body tensed, and he began to bark. But this wasn't his usual playful bark. This was sharp, aggressive, and his lips curled back slightly, showing his small but sharp puppy teeth. Sarah, still on her video call, saw the scene unfolding through the glass door. Her heart stopped. She was too far away. Emma was still moving forward, not understanding the warning signs that Zeus was displaying. Zeus crouched slightly, and Sarah recognized what was about to happen. The puppy was preparing to lunge. But before Sarah could even move, before she could end the call or shout a warning, Bella moved with a speed that seemed impossible for a dog who had been lying peacefully just seconds before. In one fluid motion, Bella was between Emma and Zeus. But what happened next wasn't what anyone would have expected. Bella didn't attack Zeus. She didn't growl or snap at him. Instead, she did something that would later be described by an animal behaviorist who saw the video as one of the most remarkable displays of canine intelligence and emotional regulation I've ever witnessed. Bella positioned her large body directly between the puppy and Emma, creating a physical barrier. Then she lowered her head until she was eye level with Zeus and let out a single low rumbling sound. It wasn't quite a growl, but it was clearly a command. Zeus immediately dropped from his aggressive stance, his ears flattening against his head in submission. But Bella wasn't done. What she did next was what truly amazed everyone who would later see the footage. She gently, incredibly gently, used her mouth to grasp Zeus by the scruff of his neck, just as a mother dog would with her puppy. She lifted him slightly off the ground, turned, and carried him away from Emma, depositing him several feet away near his crate. Zeus, thoroughly chastised, lay down immediately in a submissive posture, his tail tucked. Bella then returned to Emma, who had stopped walking and was watching with wide eyes. Bella approached the toddler and very deliberately positioned herself so that Emma could lean against her, which the child did instinctively, wrapping her small arms around Bella. Only then did Bella look back at Zeus. She walked slowly back to the puppy, and what happened next brought tears to Sarah's eyes. Bella lay down next to Zeus, who was still in his submissive posture, and began to gently lick his head. It was comfort after correction, reassurance after discipline. She was teaching him, not punishing him.
Sarah had ended her call the moment she saw Bella move, and she rushed into the living room. By the time she got there, the crisis was over. Emma was perfectly fine, completely unaware of the danger she had been in. Zeus was cuddled against Bella, receiving his lesson in the gentlest way possible. And Bella, their remarkable Bella, looked up at Sarah with those wise, calm eyes, as if to say, "Everything is under control. I've got this." David arrived home 20 minutes later to find Sarah still shaking slightly as she replayed the home security camera footage. They watched it together multiple times, each viewing revealing new details of Bella's incredible intervention, the speed of her response, the way she had used just enough authority to stop Zeus without harming him, the teaching moment she had created, the comfort she had provided to both the child and the puppy.
They immediately called their dog trainer, Marcus, who had worked with Bella since she was a puppy. Marcus asked them to send him the video, and when he called back an hour later, his voice was filled with emotion. "In 20 years of training dogs," he said, "I have never seen anything quite like this. Bella didn't just protect Emma, she protected Zeus, too, from himself, from making a mistake that could have had serious consequences. And then she educated him. This is pack behavior at its absolute finest. This is what these dogs were bred to do: protect, guard, and teach." The Harrisons knew they had to make some changes. Zeus was immediately enrolled in puppy kindergarten classes. A baby gate was installed to ensure better separation when adult supervision wasn't possible. The latch on Zeus's crate was replaced with a more secure one, and most importantly, they committed to even more intensive supervision of interactions between the puppy and Emma.
But something else had changed too. Zeus's behavior around Emma was noticeably different after that day. He was gentler, more careful. When Emma would approach him, he would look first to Bella, as if asking permission or seeking guidance. Bella had become his mentor in a way that went beyond anything the Harrisons could have trained. As weeks passed, Zeus grew bigger and his training progressed. The bond between him and Bella deepened. He would still play and roughhouse with Bella in the yard, but around Emma he was remarkably gentle. If Emma got too close while he was eating or playing with a toy, he would simply move away rather than guard his resources. When Emma would toddle over during his nap time, he would open one eye, look at Emma, then look at Bella as if to say, "Is this okay?" And Bella would either give an approving look or gently redirect Emma with a nudge of her nose. The video that Sarah's security camera had captured became something of a teaching tool. With the Harrisons' permission, Marcus shared it during his dog training seminars as an example of proper pack hierarchy and behavior. Animal behaviorists requested to study it. It even caught the attention of researchers who were studying canine emotional intelligence and social learning. One researcher, Dr. Patricia Chen, an expert in animal behavior, reached out to the Harrisons for an interview. "What Bella demonstrated," Dr. Chen explained, "is what we call mentoring behavior in social animals. She didn't just react to a threat. She conducted a 3-part intervention: protection, education, and reconciliation. She stopped Zeus,
taught him why his behavior was inappropriate, and then comforted him. This kind of sophisticated social teaching is rare, even among highly intelligent social species. It shows not just intelligence, but emotional awareness and impulse control that is truly remarkable.
The story began to spread beyond academic circles. A local news station heard about it and asked to do a feature. The segment they produced, titled "The Rottweiler Who Stopped an Attack with Love," went viral. Comments poured in from around the world. People shared their own stories of Rottweilers and other misunderstood breeds who had shown incredible gentleness and intelligence. Many commented on how the story changed their perception of the breed. But perhaps the most touching response came from a young mother named Jessica, who reached out to Sarah through social media. Jessica explained that she and her husband were expecting their first child, and her husband had insisted their Rottweiler, Bruno, had to go before the baby arrived. He was convinced the dog would be dangerous. Jessica shared the video of Bella with her husband, and it sparked a conversation that led to them consulting with a professional trainer instead. They kept Bruno, prepared properly for the baby's arrival, and Bruno became as gentle and protective with their daughter as Bella had been with Emma.
For the Harrison family, life returned to a new normal. Emma continued to grow, and her vocabulary expanded to include more words about her doggies. Zeus matured from a rambunctious puppy into a strong, beautiful young Rottweiler who was unfailingly gentle with Emma. And Bella remained the calm, wise matriarch of their little pack. There were no more incidents. Zeus's training progressed beautifully, and by the time he was a year old, he had earned his canine good citizenship certificate. David liked to joke that Zeus had the best teacher possible, one who taught in a language he could truly understand. On Emma's third birthday, as the family gathered in the backyard for a small celebration, Sarah watched her daughter playing with both dogs. Zeus was lying on his side, while Emma used him as a backrest, and Bella was nearby, ever watchful but relaxed. Sarah thought back to that terrifying moment when Zeus had begun to lunge, to the split second when everything could have gone so wrong, and to Bella's incredible intervention that had made everything right. She pulled out her phone and snapped a photo. Emma, Bella, and Zeus, all peaceful together in the afternoon sun. She posted it with a caption that read, "They said Rottweilers were too dangerous for families. They said we were taking a risk, but they didn't know Bella. She taught us that with proper training, respect, and understanding, these magnificent dogs don't just protect us from outside threats, they protect us from mistakes. They teach us about loyalty and wisdom, and they show us what it really means to be a family. Forever grateful for our gentle giants."
The post received thousands of reactions, but the one that meant the most to Sarah came from Marcus, their trainer. "You trusted the breed, you did the work, and Bella did the rest. This is what responsible dog ownership looks like. This is the story everyone needs to hear." That singular moment of quick thinking and gentle teaching had rippled out far beyond their home. It had changed perceptions, saved a relationship between a family and their dog, and reminded everyone who heard it that judging a book by its cover or a dog by its breed was a mistake. What mattered was training, socialization, understanding, and love. And in the Harrison household, there was plenty of all of that to go around. If this incredible story of canine intelligence and love touched your heart, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more amazing pet stories that celebrate the remarkable bond between humans and animals. And we'd love to hear from you in the comments. Do you have a Rottweiler or another misunderstood breed? Share your story below. Remember, every dog deserves to be judged as an individual, not by stereotypes. See you in the next video.